Hi everyone, Cody here. Welcome back to my garden. Well, it's been a year since I created my first video on this channel, and I think I'd just like to give a little bit of an update of where we are a year later. So let's get started, shall we? So this year I'm happy to announce that we are doubling down on our vegetables. So that's right, we created this whole new vegetable plot. The old one's over there. And we're going to grow more food than ever before. And I have been very busy tilling and picking up rocks. We got quite the rock pile going over there. Another rock pile over there. All these rocks pretty much came from this garden bed here. So once we get all the rocks and rake it all smooth, then this is going to make a great vegetable plot, hopefully. It'll only be clay soil because this is all clay, and I don't know if we're going to amend it with anything yet. Because it's a pretty large area, so that would take a lot of compost. Especially since I've done a lot of compost in the old vegetable garden. So here's our old vegetable garden from before. You may have recognized it from some of my past videos. But this year I'm changing things up a little with this. And so I basically filled in the middle path. You might have remembered there was a path going right down the middle. And so I actually filled this all in with dirt and compost. And it's going to be more growing space for this area. And I think I'm just going to have like little paths going down along the side, all along the length, and then just do it kind of in rows. I'm actually planning on planting some more perennial vegetables in this garden, or at least biennials that we can use for saving seeds. And so I'd like to have some strawberries in here, because I got a whole bunch of strawberry plants that need to be planted, so that'd be a good spot for them, hopefully. And also maybe some asparagus. It might do pretty well here. And so, but I'd also like to have some biennials, so like carrots. I think that'd go well in here. And anything that I just want to save the seeds from in the second year, so onions and that sort of thing. And then we'll leave this garden for some of our bigger vegetables like our squashes and corn and beans and all that good stuff. So here's my herb garden a year later, and it's actually filling out very nicely compared to how it was a year ago. It's like really grown a lot since then. So got lots of these little purple flowers, which are ground ivy. So I've seen lots of bees on them, little purple flowers, so actually a type of mint. There's been a lot of bumblebees on them, I've noticed, which is nice. Got quite a bit of different kinds of clover growing in here. So this looks like a white sweet clover. This looks like alfalfa to me. That looks more like a red clover. I think that's more alfalfa there. And I also got other plants in here, mostly native plants, so like yarrow. So there's yarrow growing there. There. Yarrow. Dyer's chamomile is coming back, which I'm happy to see. And I got thistle over there. Got some bull thistle. And some fireweed is growing over here. So I actually transplanted that from the old vegetable garden. It was just a weed growing in here, so why not put it in more of my weed garden? Had to move the Labrador tea because it was kind of in the way of digging this new vegetable plot, so I just put it over here. We'll see how it does. It doesn't get as much moisture over here, but I keep on top with watering, I imagine it would be fine. Bunch of stinging nettle right there. My valerians are coming back nicely. Love valerian. My favorite bedtime herbs. And got some lupin over here. It's a very pretty flower. Love the look of lupin, and bees love it too. Oh, there's a bee. Hi. I don't know if you saw it. Dandelions over there. I just let the dandelions grow because it's good food for bees. Kinda. Hops are coming back. So they're already starting to climb the string. Redo the strings because some of the strings broke during the winter when the snow was coming off the roof. It's like I have to do that every year, but that's okay. More hops over there. Hopefully they'll make cones this year. Hopefully. So there's some strawberries in here. I think that's like a wild strawberry and it's making flowers, which I'm happy to see. So there's one there. Another strawberry flower there. And there's my rhubarb. I have a feeling it's going to do pretty well this year. Oreganos. Wormwood's coming back, which I'm happy to see. The sage has survived. So, not a lot of it's coming back, but that's okay. Just happy to see it coming back. Got a bunch of comfrey over here. This comfrey, oh look, it's flowering already. Wow. Yeah, there's a comfrey flower. The bumblebees actually go crazy over this stuff, so that's great. It's my wild violets, just transplanted from my victory garden. Just move them over here. So there are some flowers. Violet. There. Another one over there. I think they're almost done flowering for the year. One over there. They started flowering pretty early. So here's my greenhouse again. I actually had to do some repairs to this greenhouse because it was just ripping everywhere. So like all along the seams. So what I did is I just basically took some duct tape and then put it on both sides and stapled it in so that seam won't tear anymore. It's working pretty good on the inside. Hasn't had a problem with tearing, but kind of on the outside I think I need to do that also on the outside because it's tearing there, but I'm not going to worry about it because it's actually pretty warm at night now. Have to worry about, you haven't had frost for a while, but it might get colder, you never know. So here I got some ashwagandas, which is a good adaptogenic herb. It's the roots that you use for that. You can make tea with the roots, that sort of thing. Here's a persimmon tree, and so I actually bought real persimmon seeds, and so this is the American persimmon. So it's quite a bit hardier than those Asian persimmons that you get from the store. So I got one tree out of the deal, so hopefully it works good. There were lots of holes in the roof, so I had to tape it up with some clear tape, and that's holding up pretty good, so happy about that. Anyways, I actually got some rhubarbs growing over here. So I started rhubarbs from seed that I got at Seedy Saturday, and I wasn't actually thinking they were going to grow that well, but they actually, surprised they're doing awesome. A whole bunch of strawberries starts. I didn't actually start these from seed. I actually bought them, but that's okay. They're actually make pretty big strawberries. So these are probably going to go in the old vegetable garden where I'm going to have more perennial vegetables. Same with this asparagus, which isn't doing great, but that's okay because I have a couple asparagus coming back in my hugelkultur bed. So there's one there, another one there. These are the only ones I could see so far. That's totally okay, because I was worried they weren't going to come back. So a lot of these old roots from the last year's plants, they all kind of rotted, but not all of them. And a couple of them coming back, so that's good. So I planted some garlic in here last fall, and that's all growing nicely. Garlic there, more garlic there. It's from regular garlic cloves, organic garlic cloves that got from the store, and they're growing, so that's great. Also in my greenhouse is a couple dozen perennial kales. That's right, these kales will come back every year. So most kale is actually biennial, which means it goes to seed in its second year, and then the third year it dies. But these kales are supposed to keep producing every year for, I don't know how long, but depending on your zone, probably a pretty long time. Here are my golden berries, so they're doing pretty awesome. Other than maybe a little bit of light burn on the leaves, but it's okay because they're still doing pretty well. Got some chamomile back there. A bunch of chamomile. I love chamomile, it's one of my favorite teas of all time. Here I got some artichokes, and so I'm thinking of planting them in my hugelkultur along with maybe my perennial kale. We'll see where they can go. And I'm also growing some peanuts. So I had a lot more peanuts, but most of them died for some reason, so I just planted some more again, so hopefully they'll come back before it's time to plant them. But this one survived, so that's what a peanut plant looks like. Just like a legume, kind of like beans or that sort of thing. Over here I got some collard greens. So it's a lot like kale, only they're more heat tolerant, I guess. Never grown collard greens before, but it's the first time for everything. So I've actually been very busy mulching branches and raspberry canes and that sort of thing, because my plan is to mulch both these garden beds when it comes time to plant, to help keep moisture in the soil better, avoid soil from drying out and that sort of thing, so we won't have to water as often. Also helps keep the weeds down, and I just think that'd be very important. Learning about the wonders of mulch over the last couple of years. Here are the front flower boxes. I left all last year's dead plant debris in here, and new plants are growing from that. So, actually planted a whole bunch of new seeds in here. We've got lots of little seedlings. No idea what half of them are. Whatever comes up, and it should look very beautiful, as always. My tulips and my daffodils are all blooming right now, and it looks really pretty. A little spider in there. Hi, spider. Be shy. And so, it's great. I've seen bees and sort of thing in there. My grandma actually gave me some irises, so I thought, why not plant them next to these tulips and daffodils and crocuses, and they're all kind of in the same genre of plants. So this used to be kind of a herb garden, but it's getting taken out by perennials now, but that's okay because it's still got the mint popping up, which is basically what I'm using it for. Lots of little mints. And they're contained here. They don't really spread anywhere else because this garden's kind of isolated. Love mint. Minty. Quite a few plants growing back in these boxes, which I'm happy to see. So wildflowers and that sort of thing, so should be great. I am happy to report that all my linden trees survived the winter. So they're making buds, and they take a long time to leaf out. Like last year they leafed out probably in July, but they might earlier now that they're established in the ground. So they're all doing well, so happy to see that. And over here I'm rehabilitating an old garden that used to be here. And so I just took an area, tilled it up, and put rocks all along it. And whatever grows here grows here. It's a very poor soil here because of all the salt from the road. But whatever grows here is actually very salt tolerant. So I actually dug up some plants from the roadside and moved them here. So this looks like some sort of mugwort or that sort of thing. Smells very sagebrush-like. A lot like my my wormwood. These are all native plants, so I got a scoring rush over there. Some mulleins and some chicories in here too. There's a chicory that I transplanted. And there's another chicory over there. They're doing well. Whatever just wants to grow here, I'm gonna let grow here. So looks like a lot of these hawkweeds are gonna do pretty well. Same with some dandelions. A lot of people think they're weeds, but no, they're wildflowers. Look it up. Same with the yarrows, those are definitely wildflowers. So this should be a nice little place for bees to come and just pollinate to their heart's content. And there's some shrubs that were here from before, so rose bushes, and looks like some spireas here as well. That sort of thing. Some Oregon grapes in there. Those were there the whole time, but just like to include them in this garden, so yeah. One of my many patches of stinging nettles is doing great, so this is my main compost pile. It's all been covered by grass clippings, so that should help it decompose in the middle where it's very hot. And so, and I just constantly add to it, and just whatever breaks down. It just takes time, but it's okay because I'm not in a rush to use this because my compost in the backyard is all ready to use, although we have been adding to this area. But there's a lot of fully decomposed organic matter here, so that's good. So I've actually been taking my compost sifter to it. So yeah, this is a compost sifter. I got it last year. And you just shovel in the compost and sift it out, and all the big parts, chunks of whatever, just get sifted out. Just dumped over there. Compost gets sifted out onto this tarp. And it's actually very nice compost. Like super loose, super light and fluffy. So I actually added most of that to the old vegetable garden, and I've been working it into the soil. Still a lot of work to do over here, mostly smoothing it out, and then lots of the weeds need to be pulled, but I think I'll keep most of this dead organic matter on as a base layer of mulch, and then more mulch on top. Should be good. Yeah, so other than that, I think I covered the basics, what we're doing this year. And yeah. Well, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're just as excited for the gardening season as I am. And until next time, happy growing, everyone.